Good evening, everybody. It's nice meeting you after a small gap of 15 days. And I welcome you all for today's meeting. What we're going to have today in the virtual meeting is about the Indian mural painting traditions. You see, all our temples, all over the world, temples are painted with a lot of murals. This particular tradition of mural paintings had started much earlier in our country, right from 2nd century BC onwards. And it's a big tradition which has been carried over for a long period of time. And that's what we are going to see in today's presentation on the mural painting traditions that we see very particular to our country, the Indian mural painting traditions. With this small note, I welcome you all to today's presentation, and let's get into the presentation. Paintings are a form of an expression of the mankind of what they saw or what they did. That was the earliest mode of expression of the mankind. Now, what you see here is the cave paintings. These cave paintings are there plenty across this country. Everywhere, even close to Coimbatore, you have these cave paintings in close to Madurai and Puluambatti and other places also. The rocky caves have these paintings of the cavemen who lived there. Early men express their life and the scenes around them with the forms of drawings in the caves where they lived. So these are the cave paintings done by the cavemen who once occupied and lived in these caves. These cave paintings were created almost 5,000 years ago in our country. All these cave paintings have been created about almost 5,000 years back in our country. From the time of the cave paintings, it took almost 3,000 years to develop into an art form and as beautiful creations. And for the first time, these beautiful paintings appeared on the cave walls of Ajanta. The Ajanta cave walls first time saw the most beautiful painting depictions in 2nd century BCE, that is 2,200 years back. Further, it took almost 1,000 years from Ajanta's time for these paintings to reach down to south, which was started by the Pallavas and their contemporaries Chalukyas. The Badami caves have got few fragments of these paintings that could be seen there, especially in the Vishnu cave that you can see, cave number 3. You can see the fragments of these paintings which were done during the Chalukyan era. And similarly, we have a lot of paintings, remains of these paintings seen by the made during the Pallava times also. What you see here is the Mandakapattu cave, the first ever cave temple excavated in south by Mahendra Pallava in the place called Mandakapattu. He created this beautiful cave temple dedicated to Shiva, Vishnu and Brahma, Trimurti cave they call it. So this particular cave temple, you have 2 Dwarapalakas on the entrance, and inside the wall is plain. Probably everybody thought that there should have been a mural or there's no sculptural representation seen inside this cave temple. Probably a mural of these 3 gods were done there and which has perished totally. We do not know. Some historians say there could have been even an idol made of wood, which is also a perishable one. And some of them are opinion, it is the painting of these 3 Trimurtis were done here. Today, nothing remains from the Mahendra Pallava era. But later, Rajasimha Pallava's era, we have a lot of paintings seen all over this. There's no evidence of the painting tradition, whether it existed in the temples that were built in brick and mortar in those days, because most of the brick and mortar temples were converted to structural temples with using granite stones during the Chola era. They had dismantled the entire temple, which was built in brick and mortar, and made these beautiful structural temples with granite stones. We do not know whether there was painting in these brick temples also, which is again a big thing. We have not had any evidence so far to prove that those brick temples were also painted. Painting in our temples, as we see today, are broadly classified into two forms. One is the mural painting, other one is the fresco paintings. When you talk about these two forms, we'll see the mural paintings first. Mural paintings are the ones that are done directly on the sculptures or on the wall. It is done over a thin plaster of lime, or sometimes even without the lime plaster, they do the painting on the sculptures and the walls also. So that is the mural painting. Mural means the one which is done directly on the sculpture or on the wall over a thin coat of lime plaster on the walls. So this is a mural that is of the Chola era and repainted during again the Nayak period, which you see from the Brihadishwara temple at Tanjavur. Again, this is a mural that is seen on the prakara of the Brihadishwara temple at Tanjavur, which is done during the Maratha period. This is again a thin plastered lime wall on which they've used the colors and done this mural painting of Lakshmi, Gajalakshmi here. Coming to fresco paintings. Fresco paintings were paintings that were done on the walls and the ceilings of the temples and the viharas, the Buddhist viharas. Mostly these paintings were done on the ceilings and the walls of the viharas. This is done on a thick and well-plastered wall. There are two types of fresco paintings that could be done. One is called the wet painting, another one is called the dry painting. Somebody has to mute it. A newcomer, kindly mute yourself. Kindly mute. Somebody who's coughing can kindly mute it. It is Ajanta Buddhist caves of 2nd century BCE. We see these beautiful paintings, wonderful fresco paintings that we see here. These fresco and mural paintings, both are there in Ajanta. They're done in the interior walls and the brackets and the capitals of the pillars with the lime plastered surfaces, everything they have done that. They have done these beautiful fresco paintings in Ajanta. They've used the natural colors, minerals, rocks, powdered rocks, every other possible things where they found the colors, they have used it to make these beautiful paintings. That's why it has lasted so far. The paintings are, Ajanta, are fresco paintings, as we say. It's done on a well lime plastered wall inside the cave. And they have used natural colors. Both they have dried, wet and also on dry walls. So there are two types of frescoes which has been done. One is on the wet wall, which is a fresco, and the dry wall, which is a mural. Both you can see in Ajanta. These are all the cave walls, which are thickly plastered with lime. And then they have done these beautiful paintings of Buddha's life, as said in the Jakarta stories. So all these paintings that you see in Ajanta are all frescoes which were done during 2nd century BCE, 2,200 years ago. Now this is a beautiful painting in one of the Ajanta caves. Since these caves were inaccessible and were in a thick forest cover, and it has been not exposed directly to sun and rain, Somehow these paintings have survived till now. Most of them have been damaged beyond recognition, but still you have something to feel proud that you have a painting that has been done 2,200 years ago. It's amazing to note that these paintings have survived for 2,000 years ago. Similarly, the Egyptian paintings then inside the tombs are also survived because these tombs were closed and it was excavated very recently. You find the paintings, Egyptian paintings also. The only two countries where very old paintings over 1,000 years are existing is these two places. One is India and another one is Egypt. Now, this is the Ajanta cave that you could see here. There's a beautiful open hall with a lot of pillars, and inside that you have a sanctum for Buddha. The either side of the sanctum, the walls are all well plastered and painted. You find the beautiful paintings of frescoes here, basically depicting Buddha in his different forms and the Jakarta stories. Look at these paintings. These are all the fragments of paintings that you could see here in all these places. And whatever you see in this gray color here are the places where it has withered off. And after restoration, they have just left it like that. So you can make out these paintings that are withered off, and whatever is remaining here is what is seen today, which all depicts the story and the life of Buddha. Look at that. They have done it with vibrant colors. What beautiful composition they have made it. What beautiful perspective views they have given it. The three-dimensional effect of that perspective view has been given it. And everything is done with a lot of detailing, and they've used only natural colors. And these caves are dark. Totally sunlight does not come here. So with the limited amount of light that was available inside the cave, these artisans have worked about all these paintings 2,000 years ago and done these wonderful creations in Ajanta. The roof of the caves inside the Ajanta are beautifully decorated with floral designs. All these floral designs that you see here are seen on the roof of the Ajanta caves. What beautiful decoration of floral patterns and geometrical patterns. Everything has been beautifully depicted on the ceilings of the caves. This is again the mural that is done on the pillars and the capitals of the caves that you can see here in Ajanta. What a beautiful depiction of Padmapani. Padmapani is one of the most beautiful paintings that has captured the art lovers all over this world. This is the beautiful depiction of the Padmapani in the Ajanta cave. Ajanta frescoes started to be painted by the Buddhist monks in the beginning, and later artists also were employed, and they also joined. It started from 2nd century BCE and continued up to 6th century. The painting tradition of Ajanta caves continued almost for 800 years. They had done the entire paintings of the cave temples in Ajanta. The Viharas, the caves, temples, everything were painted beautifully on a time span of about 800 years. These frescoes were done with natural colors on well-plastered walls inside the cave. The Shilparatnakara text explains the method of doing this painting, fresco paintings on the walls. It's a very beautiful explanation given in the text that is about almost about 1,700 years ago. The Shilparatnakara states, the walls of the cave or the place where you have to do the painting are lime plastered, very beautifully lime plastered and leveled to a surface. After that, they again make this lime plaster, which is a very fine paste like that of a butter. and a thin layer of this is applied over the lime plastered wall. Similarly, they continue about 2 to 3 layers of such lime plaster with very fine butter-like the paste, lime paste that has been applied all over the thing, and they leave it for some time. When you leave it for some time like that, it starts sweating. The entire moisture from the lime, everything comes out like water bubbles from outside. That water bubbles are cleaned, very clearly cleaned, and allowed to the moisture to retain inside. So when the moisture is retained inside, they take a very sharp knife and cut out the entire outline of the drawing or the painting what they are going to make. The drawing is very beautifully cut out on the lime plaster, and that is allowed to dry for some time. Then in the meantime, they collect all the ingredients of the colors from the natural rocks, from the minerals, from limestones, different colors of stones, everything. They collect this and powder it. And after powdering it, they make a fine dust of this color using 7 layers of vastrakayam. That is 7 layers of muslin cloth or something is put there, and they sieve it through that, and they get the finest dust of these colors, natural colors in dust form. It comes and settles that. That is collected and kept. And for making the paint, what they do is, when the buffalo is slaughtered, the skin is removed. That skin of the buffalo is taken and put into big barrels and boiled in hot water for a long time. When this buffalo skin is boiling in hot water, what happens? A sort of a fat comes and gets accumulated on the top. That particular fat is collected and again processed in several ways, and then that extract of that is taken, and that is ground along with the fine dust powder that the natural elements have given, and they make a big paste of that. And that paste mixed with gum and water and other ingredients is what is used to do the paintings. The Shilpa Ratnakara very clearly explains the methodology of how these frescoes were done in those days. Coming to our Tamil country, the first ever paintings that we can see is from the temple built by Rajasimha Pallava in Panamalai. This temple is known as Talagirishwara temple, located in Panamalai. Panamalai is a small dusty village which is located between Viluppuram and Senji. It's a very small hill, about 150 steps you can climb up and go and see. That's a beautiful temple of Talagirishwara built by Rajasimha, which is much earlier to the temple of Kailashnath. He built it in Kanchipuram. In this temple, just like Kailashnath temple, the sanctum is surrounded with small sub-shrines. And in these sub-shrines, he has plastered the walls and made this beautiful fresco paintings that you can see here. The very same technique that was used for the paintings of frescoes done in Ajanta and Ajanta were used here also by the Pallava king in 7th century. And these beautiful fresco paintings can be seen even today in Panamalai. So these are the sub-shrines where the 3 walls were well lime plastered. Thick layer of lime plaster was done. And on top of this plaster, the paintings were done in those days at 7th century. And almost about 8 shrines are there all around this. All these 8 shrines had these beautiful paintings once upon a time. Today, everything is gone. Only a small fragment in one of the sub-shrines is what is remaining, which we are going to see it. All of them have perished and they've been vandalized. People have scribbled on top of it. And even today, it is sorry state to say that whatever is remaining there, which is about 1,300 years old, is not kept in safety. It is just open for everybody. Even today, the safety measure has not been taken in this beautiful painting to preserve this painting. This is the wonderful painting that is seen there in the Talagirishwara temple of Uma Parvati. She is standing under the canopy and she is just watching the dance of Shiva. What a beautiful, this survives even today. Only a fragmented portion of this particular painting is surviving. Even that fragmented portion, if you go and see it, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's just mind-boggling to see this wonderful thing. She's standing under a canopy of Muttu Vidhanam, they call it, a pearl umbrella. Pearl is supposed to be coolness. So she's standing under an umbrella of pearls. And that is beautifully depicted here. And Devi Uma Parvati is standing behind, under the canopy of pearls. And she's watching her husband Shiva dance. Look at that. This is the painting which is surviving today. Now, when you go and see that, for the first glance, you will not make out anything. You'll find a few scattered colors and everything you may come out. But once you go there, closely examine it and see it, you are taken away from that spot. You're transported to something, a different world altogether, where the master craftsmen have created this wonderful, beautiful painting. This is what is remaining as you see from this distance. You can see the faint image of Uma Parvati standing there. Now let's see her. Look at the face. How serene it is. Look at the eyes. So beautiful like a fish. Look at the ornamental makuta that she's wearing it. Look at the gentle way she's holding her fingers. Very elegant, very beautiful. Look at the ornaments. Everything is outstanding. Look at the subtle smile on her face. Everything is outstanding here in this depiction. Unless you go and see close, you will not be able to make out. Look at the way in which she's standing, with one leg folded and just resting on the wall. Look at the dress that she's wearing, a sari around her hip, waist. And that is full of designs, floral designs. The way she has tied up the sari, the knots, that everything is amazing. This wonderful creation was done 1,300 years ago. It's mind-boggling to know that. And today, there's no custody. There's no safety measures taken to preserve this painting even today. I could just walk in and take these photographs. The door is open. The door is not even locked. People can, of course, this temple does not attract anybody. Only people like us who know something about that, we go into see these things. Unfortunately, there's no crowd in this temple. There's no puja. Nothing happens in this temple. It's just open. 365 days it's open. And except the sanctum is which is closed. And what a beautiful painting. Whatever is remaining is very, very small fragment of it. And today, our Department of HRNC or anybody or ASI, nobody has taken care to preserve it. It's a very unfortunate condition that we see here in this temple of Panamalai. Look at that Shiva. This is a fresco painting. I told you how the frescoes are done. The well plastered, the outline is cut. Over this, they have applied the layers and done the coloring. Unfortunately, all the other layers on top of this have withered away. And today you can see the faint outline of Shiva's dance with one arm swung like that and multiple arms coming out. The face of Shiva is not at all seen. The granite wall is alone seen. So all the plaster is withered off totally. And this is a beautiful example of how wonderful fresco were carried out in those days. This is the same temple, the same sanctum. Shiva is dancing on the east-facing wall and Parvati is facing south and enjoying the dance of Shiva. What a beautiful creation it should have been there. And the other wall facing north should have also had some other figure of maybe Nandi or Bhutaganas or something. We do not know. Nothing remains there. Now coming to the Rajashimma Pallava, built a beautiful Kailasnath temple at Kanchipuram. This temple has got 54 sub-shrines all around. And these small temples have the sculptures in them and also beautiful paintings in that. All these Somaskanda sculptures inside these small shrines, you can see the fragments of the paintings that were done once upon a time. The entire sculpture was lime plastered and painted. Today, all the painting that they had done is gone, and few patches of these lime plasters are alone seen. Thereby, the sculpture is also not clear, nor the painting is clear. It's very unfortunate that today we have lost that wonderful, beautiful temple, which was totally painted from top to bottom during the time of Rajsimha. What an artistic mind he should have had to paint the entire temple with such beautiful mural and fresco paintings in those days. 1,300 years ago, he created this wonderful, beautiful paintings of the Somaskanda panels. That look at the fragments of the paintings that you can see on the seat of Shiva and the dress of Shiva, everything. And the patches of all the lime plaster alone are seen here. What beautiful Somaskanda it should have been there. Inspired by this is what I have done this painting here, which is seen behind me. Look at that, fragments of these colors, splendid colors, bright, vibrant colors that you see all over. Chalukya Vikramaditya, an arch enemy of this Pallavas, when he came and saw this wonderful painted temple like that, he gave an inscription there in the temple that anyone who tries to destroy this temple will meet with capital punishments. And he endowed this temple for maintenance of this particular temple. Unfortunately, today we see only fragments of these wonderful paintings that were done by Rajasimha Pallava. One of the sub-shrines inside the Prakara in the northern side, you have this beautiful painting of the Pallava era, which is still there. That is Somaskanda Murti, which is painted on a plain wall. Here, the Somaskanda image is not there, so it is just painted. Shiva and Parvati are seated. Down below, you have the Skanda seated here with Brahma and Vishnu on the top. This is the inspiration with which I have done this particular painting behind me, you see here. You see the Shiva, the wonderful way in which his matted locks have been depicted, the umbrella above Shiva, the face of Shiva, so clear, so beautiful, very, very clear, sharp lines. Parvati, her crown is alone seen and her one eye alone is seen there. The Skanda, you just see the small face and the crown and one eye. The rest of the thing is vanished. What a beautiful way of depicting Shiva, Parvati, and such. Look at the perfection of lines and the colors that they have used, bright and vibrant even today. That is Brahma. The entire figure of the Brahma, except a small portion of the crown, is gone, missing. And that is Vishnu. Look at that Vishnu. What beauty. Other hand holding the Shankha. And look at the way he's got a bowl in his hand and he picks up a flower and does the Archana for Shiva. And of course, some of the paintings that you see were redone during the Chola renovation and also during the Vijayanagar time renovations also. Now we come to the next famous place, Chittanavasal. Chittanavasal is a Jain cave temple located in Pudukkottai district. And the entire cave is beautifully painted, very beautifully painted with frescoes. And that's what you can see today remaining. All the capitals of the pillars are beautifully designed and painted. Look at that, faint figures of the king and the queen, the Pandya king and the queen. Their portrait images are also seen faintly there. You can see that image of the king, his minister and his queen, and our people have written their names also on top of it. What beautiful depiction. very similar to that of the Ajanta paintings. This is done in the 9th century by the Pandya kings. Looks at the Apsaras dancing there. Again, a beautiful dancing Apsara. You can see that wonderful Apsara. Look at her serene face and the way in which she is dancing there. These murals were exposed to sun, rain, and a lot of vandalism, and still have withstood all these things. And what you see, the remains of that, of what was done 1,000 years ago, the bright natural colors are seen very beautiful even today. This is the inside Samavasamara. This is a Jain story which goes there. Here, the Jain monks come to collect flowers from a lotus pond. And that lotus pond where they come is there with a lot of water buffaloes, what you have, elephants, fish, birds, everything there. So that beautiful scene of these Jain bhavyas coming and collecting that is seen here. You see the bhavya here, and again, one more water buffalo is also seen here in this wonderful painting, which is done on the roof of the inside cave of the Chittanavasil. Look at that. Beautiful paintings with the lotus flowers, and you have the buffalo there. They're collecting lotus flowers for the offering of the puja. In that pond, you have the buffaloes, you have the elephant, you have the fish, you have the stocks, everything there. You can understand this from the line drawing here. The two people who have collected, coming to collect this lotus flowers are here. You have an elephant here. You have a water buffalo here also. Again, the birds and the fish, you can see here. The birds and the fish. Again, another bird there. So all this wonderful composition is being done on the entire wall, which is about 20 feet plus by 10 feet. Such a beautiful wall. It's pitch dark inside. You will have to show your lights, torch lights or cell phone lights to see this. And it's amazing to see this wonderful painting at Chittanavasil. Now coming to the Chola paintings at the Narthamalai Vijayalaya Cholishwaram. This is the first ever Chola temple built, and it was done by the Muttarayars, which we'll see later in course of time. And you have some paintings, faint paintings, again, very, very, damaged condition. This is the painting of Lingodbhava Shiva, and some of the Vishnu painting is also seen here. You can see the Vishnu in green color holding the Shankha and the Chakra. That's also seen there. And you see some other paintings of the Gandharvas and the flowers and other things. Some historians are of the opinion this should be of later, but many of the historians agree to say that this should be the Chola paintings only. You can see the Gandharvas there. And the beautiful floral designs. Everything inside this beautiful temple of Narthamalai. Now coming to the great temple of Brihadishwara at Tanjavur. We all know the great temple of Brihadishwara is at Tanjavur. 10th century murals of Rajarajas there inside the inner prakaram of this, around the sanctum. And this is the inner prakaram, which is closed now. And you have the paintings of Rajaraja era there. These paintings are considered as the crown of the Dravidian painting techniques. These painting layers were buried under the Nayak period paintings, and they've come to this world only recently in 1960s. And this was exposed by one Govindaswamy from Annamalai University. Professor Govindaswamy was the first to expose these wonderful paintings. After that, ASI has taken a lot of pains to restore these paintings, and today they are restored beautifully. Unfortunately, today you cannot go inside to see these paintings, and all these paintings are beautifully photographed and kept for display for every visitor to see inside the temple. And this is the painting of the Nataraja as seen in the Chidambaram temple, where Rajaraja and his three wives have coming and offering the prayers to Nataraja. The beautiful golden tower or the golden Vimana of the Chitsabha is seen here. The Kanakasabha is seen here. The Kanakasabha is the place where Rajaraja and his wives are standing to have the darshan of Lord in Chitsabha. Very beautifully depicted here. Look at that. Rajaraja dressed without the crown, everything, with just the hair tied up, with his three queens. He has come as a devotee of Shiva, and that is the portrait image of Rajaraja Chola. You can see the lot of Apsaras. Plenty of Apsaras have been depicted here. And you have the beautiful image. And a lot of people claim this is Rajaraja's portrait, which is not true. This is one of the painting of the Sanakadi Muni, which is there. And this is also a wonderful example of the beautiful fresco that you can see it in the temple of Rajaraja. The most amazing painting that you see there is of Triprantaka in this big temple. Triprantaka is going along with all the devatas for fighting against the Tripurasuras. You can see Subramanya here. You can see Bhadrakali there. Everybody, and Triprantaka Shiva is seen there with angry face, riding on the chariot and going towards the Tripurasamhara. Look at the face, how beautifully it is depicted. The Raudram in the face, everything, the colors that has been used here. Amazing, amazing production. The Asura, the Tripurasuras, Vidyutmali, Kamalaksha and Tarakaksha, the three Asuras are beautifully depicted. Here, one of the Asura is scared of Shiva's Raudram on his face. His wife says, don't go to fight with Shiva. You will be killed. And she's pulling him back, but the Asura is going forward. What a beautiful depiction that is seen there in this wonderful panel of Tripurasura Samhara in the big temple. Again, you have the beautiful mural of the Chola period. You find the paintings of the Chola period here, red colors and few other colors, over which the Bharatas have also done these beautiful designs outside. And both the paintings are faded very badly. Today we can see both the remains of the Maratha and the Chola on the sculptural murals. Now we come to another temple, a very special temple called Tukkachi, built by Vikrama Chola in 11th century. We have found fragments of Chola painting in this temple, and this temple is damaged beyond whatever repairable condition today, and the paintings have all gone. What remains is just a few fragments of that you can see here. This is 11th century Chola paintings that you see on the prakaras of this beautiful temple at Tukkachi, which is totally been, ruined. Just you can see the designs. Look at that Yali. Look at the floral designs. The Rishabha. And the row of Rishabhas, everything is gone. Absolutely, totally damaged beyond recognition. Small fragments, that's what you see here and there, scattered in this temple. Look at that. One portion of Shiva's face alone is seen there. I don't know which form of Shiva it is there, but you can make out very clearly it is Shiva's face with the third eye also being seen there very clearly. Kerala mural paintings are the frescoes depicting the mythological stories of in ancient temples and palaces. Tradition of mural painting mostly dating back between 9th and 12th century is seen in Kerala. And this form of Kerala mural paintings enjoyed the royal patronage in those days. The scriptural basis of these temples are found in the Sanskrit text of Chitra Sutram. And all these are based on that. They have done these entire paintings in the Kerala temples. The iconography and the mythological characters in the murals are based on the Dhyana slokas which are found there. Here you find the wonderful Vishnu, Mahavishnu seated on the Adisesha, flanked with Sri Devi and Bhudevi on either side. This is a beautiful Shiva that you find in the temple of Mahadeva temple at Kannur. The 5 faces of Shiva, the Panchamukha Shiva is seen here. You find the murals in Tirunandikara, Tiruvanjikulam, and these two, Tiruvanjikulam and Tirunandikara, are considered to be the oldest of the Kerala relic murals that you find. The masterpiece of these Kerala murals can be seen in the Shiva temple at Etumanur, Vakyam, and the Ramayana murals at the Mattanjari Palace and the Krishnapuram Palace at Kayangulam, everything. You can see some of the beautiful paintings there. This is the painting from the Etumanur temple. The other fine murals of these Kerala are depicted in temples of Tirukodinatham, Vaikyam, Pundarikapuram, Udayanapuram, Tiruparangodu, Tirukodutilam, and Sri Padmanabha Swami temple of Tiruvananthapuram, and so on. The other murals inspired by these Hindu mythological stories, the churches of Kerala also have done some murals, and these murals are seen in Ullur, Chavakkadu, Edappalli, and other places also. The palaces such as Krishnapuram Palace in Kayangulam and the Padmanabhapuram Palace, everything has got some beautiful murals there still remaining. What you see here is the beautiful dance image, painting of Shiva as Nataraja from the Etumanur temple. What a beautiful way of depicting Nataraja in a single circle with multiple arms. What a majestic composition it is. Amazing composition. The Apasmara Purusha is shown as a big Rakshasa below the feet of Shiva. And look at the snake, so big. So it's something very unique style of painting that has evolved started from the 9th century and existed till almost about 12th century. And today, most of the paintings in the Kerala temples are gone. And this is the biggest, oldest surviving mural called the Gajendra Moksham, which is there in the Krishnapuram Palace at Kayangulam. And this is one of the biggest mural that you can see of Kerala style done during the 10th or 11th century. You have Mahavishnu seated on Garuda, Gajendra and the crocodile here, and all the devatas are there. All here also, you can see that. This is in a very bad condition, but still, this is one of the oldest and the well-surviving murals that is seen from the Kerala temples. The Kerala murals today has seen a big boon. They've started reviving these Kerala murals. Based on some texts and things like that, they have revived, and a lot of new things have come up. But one unfortunate thing is that in the name of revival of these murals, they have repainted most of the murals in the temples that you see here, which I think it should not have been done. The old murals, whatever condition is there, should have to have been preserved in that same condition. Probably the new technique on which they have developed should have been done in new temples or temples where there is no paintings. Unfortunately, the old murals have been retouched very badly. This is one of the beautiful murals that you find in the Vakyam temple. And look at that. This is the old mural, and this is the newly painted mural. So you can find the contrast in this both. Very garish. Look at the fineness of that, and look at the plainness in this. It's just, I don't know why they have done this. Unfortunately, all the temples, the murals have been retouched. They should not have done that. They should have left it by this. This is again the Ethumanur temple, where entire murals have been repainted somewhere. And very, very pathetic to see this. This is from the Mattanjeri Palace, done during the 16th, 17th century. The Krishna with gopis. The Dutch palace of Mattanjeri, you have wonderful murals of Ramayana scenes and Lord of Gita Govindam, everything there. Look at that Garuda. Garuda is seen here, very beautiful mural of Garuda. And Padmanabha Swami with Dasavataram down below. And this is the famous Guruvayur temple. This Guruvayur temple had the most beautiful murals once upon a time. Unfortunately, in the name of revival of the Guruvayur murals, they have repainted the entire Guruvayur temple with these new murals. Unfortunately, the old murals, which were so beautiful and something should have been preserved for eternity, they have been plastered, repainted. Today, though they say it is the original Kerala mural painting tradition they have followed, we have lost some of the greatest heritage in the name of renovation. I think this should have been stopped. Some of the South Indian temples known for the beautiful Vijayanagar paintings, especially these Vijayanagar paintings are seen in the Veerabhadra temple at Lepakshi, and the Virupaksha temple at Hampi, and the Kalyana Sundareswara temple at Tiruvarur. What you see here is the beautiful painting of Narada Muni in the Kalyana Sundareswara temple at this Kalyana Sundareswara temple near Tiruvarur. These paintings had come into light only recently. And this is one of the beautiful Vijayanagar period painting of 16th, 17th century. You find again Narada with another Deva there. And all these Vijayanagar paintings were covered in the ceiling of the Virupaksha temple. They had covered the entire ceiling of the Virupaksha temple Mantapa. And you have beautiful paintings of Shiva Leela and of course Vidyaranya Guru of Sringeri Sharada Peetham. And he's been carried in the palanquin. That is also forming a center part of this wonderful paintings at the Virupaksha temple Hampi. This is the Mantapam of the Virupaksha temple. The entire area of the Mantapam are painted with beautiful colors during the 16th century of the Vijayanagar kings. You see here, Manmada riding a chariot which was driven by parrots, and he is coming to shoot the arrow on Shiva, who's doing tapas in Kailash. Rati Devi is also seen by side. You have this Girija Kalyanam, Shiva marrying the Parvati. This is again Tripura Samhara Murti, Tripurasura Samharam. Shiva is there as Tripura Samhara Murti. You have Arjuna shooting the arrow at the Matsyentra to gain Draupadi. All the Pandavas are seen here by the side. And this is the Vidyaranya Guru, the 10th Guru of Sringeri Sharada Peetham, who helped Harihara Bukka to establish this great Vijayanagar Empire invasion inside this South India. And he was given the royal honors to be carried in the palanquin, which is called as Adda Pallaki. The palanquin is carried in the crossway, covering the entire street it goes. So that Adda Pallaki is one of the greatest thing that has been done, even today followed in the Sringeri Sharada Peetham. And this is the Vidyaranya Guru who gave the great Hindu empire to us. And his portrait image is seen wonderfully depicted in the temple of Virupaksha at Hampi. The Lepakshi temple has got some of the most wonderful Vijayanagar period paintings. You see, these paintings are totally different. You find everywhere designs are employed. And look at the way the costumes are beautifully designed. Here, Mahalakshmi is praying to Shiva, and look at her sari. It's the checkered sari, full of checks. What a beautiful way of depicting it. Of course, the colors of that is gone. Here, the Shiva is there, riding on the bull, along with Parvati. You have again Shiva, and a lot of ladies coming and praying to Shiva. You see this, all these ladies are beautifully seen wearing saris of different designs. What beautiful sari designs that you can see. Look at the designs all around the painting also. Amazing designs are there, floral designs. I believe these designs are copied even today in the Kalamkari works of designs that they are doing it. Again, you see this, all the textile designs that are seen here are seen in this Lepakshi temple. All these paintings have faded away. These paintings are only about 500 years old, but still, all these things are damaged very, very badly. Look at the sari design. Look at the one she's wearing, and all these sari designs are very unique. Very, very unique. It gives a very clear, vivid picture of how people used to be dressed in those days, 500 years back. How beautifully and elegantly they were dressed. Look at these designs. These designs are copied even today. A lot of people come and do copy of these designs. All these designs are copied. All the floral designs are taken for their, and these designs are totally incorporated as such in the Kalamkari works of Andhra Pradesh, totally incorporated into the Kalamkari works that they do it today. Now, the mural painting traditions, which was started with the Pallavas and Cholas in Tamil country, continued till the 12th century, and after a gap of 400 years, it was again started by the Vijayanagar kings in the temple of Chidambaram. You have the beautiful mural paintings of the Nataraja and Shivakam Sundari on the ceiling of the Mantapa in front of Shivakam Sundari temple, which we have seen it earlier also in my other presentations. What a beautiful depiction of Shivakam Sundari and Nataraja you can see here in this. The Bhikshadana. All the Rishi Patnis going behind the Bhikshadana. Look at the way they are dressed. Transparent dresses. That's Mahavishnu and Brahma coming to pray Shiva. This is Patanjali and Vyagrapata Muni. You can see the Patanjali with the snake hood and the body of the snake, Vyagrapata with the legs of the tiger. They did penance here to get Shiva Darshana, Shiva's dance Darshana. And all these are explained in Chidambara Mahatmyam. And the entire Chidambara Mahatmyam is seen as mural paintings here in this temple of Shivakam Sundari, which you see here. Tirupudai Murudur is a beautiful temple which is in the banks of Tambrabarni River near Ambasamudram. Here, the mural paintings are done during the Nayak period inside the Gopuram. Normally, we see the paintings always on the Prakara walls and things like that. But here, in the 17th century, they have done inside the Gopuram, the 5 levels of the Gopuram are all painted beautifully inside. It's a very rare sight to see such wonderful paintings done inside the Gopuram. Here in Tirupudai Murudur, you can see these paintings. And similarly, there's another temple in Tirunelveli which is known as Kalakkadu. In that temple also, you can find this beautiful mural paintings done inside the Gopuram. This is Nateshwara there. The entire life of Manika Vachakar is being depicted in paintings here. And you can see all the Periya Puranam and Manika Vachakar life history being painted here. Our friends have written their names also here. Manika Vachakar praying at Tiruperundurai. the temple he built it. Look at that. Manikavasha, and the puja has been done for Shivakam, Devi and Shiva here in some temple. Manikavashaka and Tirunjana Sambandar being carried in palanquin is shown here. The Dasavatara of Mahavishnu is seen here. The Vamana, Parasurama, Rama, Krishna and Kalki. All the three avatars are shown here. Very beautiful. Very different way of depicting this wonderful thing. And this is an amazing painting, you see. Rama is looking at an arrow and giving the Shastra Vidya to Lakshmana. How to use an arrow, how to select an arrow when you're fighting. All that knowledge of using the Shastra is being given to, is being told to Lakshmana, who is listening to it, and Hanuman is also by the side, and you find another Vanara pressing the feet of Rama. This is a very rare depiction. What a beautiful depiction of this. This is from the Tirupadaimaradur temple at Tirunelveli district. Now we come to the Tiruvarur. The most beautiful paintings that you see in the Tiruvarur Devasiri Mandapam. Amazing paintings that were done about 300 years ago during the Maratha period. The entire Muchukunda Puranam, how Muchukunda brought the Tyagaraja to this world, has been depicted in the paintings. Each painting is approximately about, each episode of this painting is approximately about 20 to 30 feet in length and almost about 10 feet wide. Like that, they have done almost about 400, 500 feet of painting, running through all these different corridors of this mandapam. All these things were totally destroyed by the negligence of our department, which is to take care of it. And the ropes that are used for pulling the chariot of Tiruvarur temple were tied between these pillars so that the termites do not attack it. And the entire place was full of filth and what you call all nonsense inside this. Unfortunately, somewhere somebody threw a video or something or that, the whole thing caught fire, the roofs cracked up, and thereby the ceilings opened up, rainwater came inside, the entire paintings were lost. Today, whatever was remaining there is being carefully restored by the intact team, and today we see these paintings in this condition. This is Nataraja and the Govindaraja in Chidambaram. Indra is praying here to get the Tiruvarur Tyagaraja, to get the Shiva's blessing and Govindaraja's blessing to have the Tyagaraja for his worship. But what is Tyagaraja? Mahavishnu has got this Tyagaraja in his chest bosom and he prays for it. Indra comes and offers his prayers. Mahavishnu is in Parkadal. To show that this is Parkadal, this entire space is white in color, and to show that it is a sea, you find these fishes there. So Mahavishnu and Lakshmi are seated in Parkadal in the Seshasayana. Indra is coming and requesting Mahavishnu to give this beautiful Tyagaraja to him. And this is what is remaining today. And at that time, Indra, when takes this Tyagaraja and keeps him for worship, at that time there's an Asura called Valasura. He comes to attack Indra. So Indra seeks the help of Muchukunda Chakravarti to save him from Valasura. And Muchukunda agrees to come there, and he comes there to save Valasura. After the fight of the Valasura, Indra gives this beautiful Tyagaraja and 6 other images to Muchukunda. Muchukunda prays to Indra and takes it. And he brings it to Tiruvarur in a beautiful chariot. All the 7 idols, Sapta Vidangar, he brings them into chariot in Tiruvarur and asks Vishwakarma to build a temple. And thereby he installs them in those temples of the Vidangars in this temple. Look at that beautiful chariot and the place where all the Tyagarajas are brought here. What wonderful depiction of that. And the festival of Tyagaraja, the Vasanta Utsavam is shown beautifully here. Look at that Kachikudutta Nayakar is brought in the Chapparam here. And all the people carrying this. This painting is totally lost. Look at the way. We did not have a photography those days. There was not a camera. Nobody had picturized this. But that artist had visualized it and done it. This is a single person who had done it. All these beautiful paintings. Look at the dance that is happening, Sadir, before the procession of Tyagaraja outside. Look at the fireworks that is happening there. Look at the number of devotees that they are carrying. Look at the number of musical instruments and drums that they are playing. How beautifully the chatras, different types of umbrellas. And these are all the Varna Vedikas. Today you see 1,000 stars in the sky and things like that, the crackers. Those days it was there. All these are all the crackers that are there, fully covering up the sky. What beautifully they have depicted this wonderful image. Look at the fireworks. Today we are talking about rockets. And 300 years back, these rockets were there. And look at the way they are holding this sparkles. And the entire place is full of sparkles. Look at the different genders that they are carrying. What a beautiful depiction of this. Amazing. And to show that this is a night sky, this is given as dark color and with all the firework display there. What beautiful way of depicting it. The entire painting of this Tiruvarur Tyagaraja Swami's Devasiri Mandapa is done with 5 basic colors on a well-plastered wall. They have used red for kavi, red color, kavi. Yellow gobi for yellow color. The white is lime plastered wall. And malachite for green and lamp shoot for the black. What you get from the smoke from the lamp, that is black. All these colors were used with neem gum and other few ingredients, mixed it up, and then they have painted it. And that painting is still holds good even after 300 years. Unfortunately, they are in a bad damage condition. Amazingly wonderful paintings. As an art lover, I have photographed these paintings very clearly, and I have started doing these murals on boards. And I have really replicated to the maximum extent possible all these paintings. And one day I will exactly find some time to show it to you and share it with you also. The Ramalinga Vilasa Palace at Ramnad are also got the paintings of the Nayak period. You have beautiful paintings of more of the Rasa Leelas of the Ramnad kings. You find them in the horse and this elephant, all the women around that, their Rasa Kridas, the way in which the kings enjoyed their life with several wives swimming in the pond and the other things. It's all shown there in these beautiful paintings, erotic paintings. All these erotic paintings of 18th century in the Ramnath Palace. These are all murals. Rathi and Manmada. The Vijayanagar murals from Jain temple of Tiruparikundram in Kanchipuram. They were beautiful Vijayanagar paintings, but unfortunately, today, all these paintings are being redone in the name of restoration. We have lost completely the original paintings. These were done recently, about 5-6 years back, completely redone with all the chemical colors, everything. Where was the original thing? We have lost. In the name of restoration, I am totally against these people destroying these paintings by doing the beauty of the originality, and the originality should be maintained at any cost is my humble feeling. Again, we have lost beautiful paintings of the Avudiyar temple, which is again from the Nayak period. Look at that. All these things because of the negligence. Why did this negligence come? It is only because of the British period. 300 years, there was nobody to take care of these temples. All the endowments of the temples were taken away by them. There was nothing, nobody to maintain that. And that's how it has seen the greatest deterioration over the period of time. 300 years under the British rule, we were not allowed to maintain our temples, and we have lost it. And even if we are given the opportunity to maintain it, how are we maintaining it? This is the beautiful mural painting of the Vijayanagar period in the Varadarajaswamy temple of Kanchipuram. Look at the Vaishnavas. They have painted this Namam on top of this painting. How crude it is. This is the way you have to prove your Vaishnavism and your devotion to Vishnu? On such a beautiful painting which depicts Vishnu and behind, seated Vishnu with Sridevi and Bhudevi. On the top of that wonderful painting, which is done about 500 years back, they have painted this wonderful Namam. A pathetic sight. They are abusing this. All this is happening under the guidance of the HRMC department. Very sad to note that. Look at the way they have run the electrical pipe wiring on top of these paintings. They have never bothered to maintain this. Look at the way they have done this electrical linings on this. Look at the way the cobwebs and other things have come into this place. No maintenance, absolute no maintenance. All the 108 Divya Desams of Mahavishnu are shown in the wonderful paintings of this Varadarajaswamy temple. Today, they are in pathetic condition. This is from the temple of Koneri Rajapuram, which is done about 150 years ago. These paintings were done by one Devadasi. She has sponsored this painting. Absolutely beautiful paintings of 150 years ago. The quality of the paintings are not seen even today. The Devadasis attached to this temple had sponsored these paintings. Look at that Rishavantaka Deva along with Devi coming on procession at the temple of Koneri Rajapuram, Kalyana Sundaramurti. Look at the music or the Nadaswara Goshti that is coming in front of the procession. The Devadasis who were dancing, everybody has seen, all the general public, everybody is seen there in this wonderful crowd. What a beautiful depiction, which is done beautifully 150 years ago, and we have not failed to maintain that. All the 10-day Utsavam, when different Vahanas, when the god comes out, all these are depicted by that wonderful devoted Devadasi. Look at the Alankara that's been done for Devi when she comes out on the procession on a Simha Vahana. The Devadasis had the right to give the Chamaram when the gods come inside the temple. That's what is being depicted here. Look at this painting. This is the painting, the portrait image of the Devadasi who sponsored this paintings at Koneri Rajapuram. This photograph I took about, say about 10 years back, 10 to 12 years back. I think 12 years back, I had taken this photograph. And recently, about 2.5 years back, I took this photograph. Look at the deterioration that has happened within the short span of 10 years. Because we have not bothered about it. The entire thing has withered off. This is what I have seen with my own eyes. The photograph which I took about 10 years back, 12 years back, and the photograph which I have taken about 2.5 years back. And today, I don't know whether if something is still remaining there. We are not bothered about that. Look at the wonderful way that painting has been done. Look at the beautiful sari that she's wearing. The beautiful texture of the sari is shown. The jari work of the sari is shown. So beautifully depicted. Unfortunately, we do not care for these things. All these paintings are totally lost forever. How the life of Devadasis are shown very clearly. When the Britishers come there, these Devadasis are asked to perform dance in front of them. Even that is being depicted here. And the Devadasi is not interested because she wants to dance only in front of the god. And she's refusing to see that Britisher. Though she was compelled to do that, she's refusing, she's closing her face. What a beautiful depiction of the painting that has been done about 150 years ago. Our Madurai Meenakshi temple, the Nayak period painting of Tiruvilayadal Puranam, the entire north wall of the Potramare Kulam was painted with this. The wonderful Meenakshi Kalyanam, everything was there. One stupid executive officer ordered it to be completely whitewashed, and we have lost it. And they gave a contract to somebody to redo the painting, and that is also stopped for the past 25, 30 years, and nothing has come. We have lost these paintings. Absolutely lost these wonderful paintings. What beautiful paintings we have lost. And today, after 20 years, I mean, this fellow started the painting like this. Look, can you compare this painting with the one which was done, Nayak period painting about 30 years back, which you saw in the previous photograph? Absolutely ridiculous. And this painting, he claims it to be done with all the vegetable colors and things like that. Unfortunately, there's a court case going on, and this is not completed also. All the wall is still remaining white today. And what we have done for this, we have garnishly painted all the temples using all these oil colors. What dirty colors we have used and what garish paintings we have done. This is how we are decorating our temples. How subtle and beautiful our mural tradition was there. Today, we have lost that beautiful tradition. This is how we are maintaining it. I have to ask, is that we are aware of the greatness of the Indian heritage of our paintings? Do you have any respect for this great heritage paintings that we have in our temples? What can we do to stop that vandalism and abuse of these paintings by the management of these temples? The only solution is that we have to know about them, start loving them, and also spread the message of its greatness to every man, every mind, so that any such abuse that happens in future can be stopped. We will pledge to spread this message, which alone can save our great Indian mural painting tradition. Thank you. Any questions? I am prepared to take it.
Great. Kudos, Guru. Well done as always.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guru, Samandi Vandarkar, welcome panningla.
Great, Guru. Guru, great.
Thank you.
The pledge that was taken was great.
Thank you.
And also Meena Viswanathan is there from Cochin.
Okay.
I absolutely enjoyed watching and listening, and I mean, what a wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is unbelievable. I mean, it's something great.
Thank you.
Guru, so you should send a small petition to the Chief Minister's office on the restoration and the protection of the paintings. You see, at least now the current Chief Minister, they're budgeted something like 300 crores for this.
Raj,
I think Chidambaram Temple, or was it?
Raj, 1 minute. I'll tell you. All these petitions and court cases are pending. But the abuses are still happening because of the ignorance. I'll tell you, the reason why it is there, it is because of the ignorance of the people who are posted there. They don't know anything about that. The executive officer of the temple knows nothing about the what do you call, the heritage or culture or anything. He is there to manage it.
No, I agree with all what's happening, all the ills. Okay, that's happening. What I'm suggesting is you can send a petition saying that this is how they should constitute an expert committee and how they should go about and do it. And for Udara Sangha Udiuda, whatever comes of it, let it come.
No, do
it again now. What I'm saying is do it now.
See, I stopped one of the paintings done about 150 years ago in Vaduvur temple. When they were repainting on it, I stopped it. And I myself restored the whole painting and gave it. Even today, you go to Vaduvur temple, 150